Hello my scholars, welcome to my school channel. I am Alexandra, and in this video we're going to be learning about the sound system of the English language. So I'll be giving you a background knowledge of the sound system in English language, and then we'll proceed to the organs of speech and we'll look at the process involved in speech production, and lastly we'll wrap it up with the main features of the sound system in English language. So please stay with us, don't go anywhere, and I'll be right back. Welcome back to my school channel, and do not forget that the topic for today's lesson is the sound system of the English language. Now the lesson objectives have been outlined. The first is an introduction to the sound system of English, where we'll be learning about the background of the sound system of English. Then we'll proceed to the organs of speech. Then we'll look at the process of speech production. Okay, so the process, the organs of speech on the go in speech production. Now the main features of the sound system, then we'll wrap it up with the main features of sound system in English language. Now let's proceed with the first objective, which is an introduction to the sound system of English. Now there are 3 points you need to note, and I'll start with the first one. Everything and every being has the potential to produce sound. Everything. When you drop a pen, it produces sound. When you clap your hands, it produces sound. When you type on a computer, it produces sound. When you put on your generator, it produces sound. So everything has the potential to produce sounds, and every being in the sense that when the bird sings, it produces sounds. When a dog barks, it produces sounds. When a cat meows, it produces sound. When a human being speaks, he or she produces sounds. So everything and every being has the potential to produce sound. So that has been established. Sound can be found everywhere, and it can be done by anything and anyone. Okay, so the next point you need to note is language sounds are unique because they are associated with the meaning of the word. Now what does this mean? Human beings communicate using speech or writing. So we communicate with one another using speech or writing. Now, speech involves language sounds that are meaningful. So speech sounds are meaningful sounds. Okay, they are meaningful sounds in the sense that the meaning of the word is related to or associated with the sound produced. For example, the word man. Okay, so man is the combination of the sounds and So we can see that it's a combination of speech sounds arranged in sequence, in an order. Okay, so we have first, we have and then we have So speech sound is a combination of sounds that are meaningful. So we know that a man is an adult male human being. Okay, so there's a meaning attached to every sound we produce as a human being. So language sounds are meaningful. That is what makes it different and unique from every other sound we make. It is meaningful. So when we talk about the language sound, when we talk about the language sound, we mean speech sounds, and these speech sounds are meaningful sounds because the sounds are associated with meaning. Okay? Stress and intonation are necessary for the proper functioning of these sounds in speech process. Now, what does this mean? Now, stress and intonation are very important because they give quality to the sound we produce. So we've talked about sound, and now we're looking at stress and intonation. And stress and intonation gives it quality. So when we think of the English language is a stress time language. Please note this. English language is a stress time language, and what this means is it is usually characterized by a process where there is a rise and fall in the pitch of the voice. There are times when you speak louder, and there's time when you speak in a very soft tone, you use a very soft tone, and there are times when you exert force, and there are times when you have a very weak voice quality. So that is what stress and intonation does. It gives quality to your speech, to your words, to your sentences. Okay, and that's what makes language have its rhythmic pattern, more like a musical pattern. Okay, so stress and intonation is very important Like I said, it gives quality to the sound you produce. However, the Nigeria indigenous languages such as the Yoruba, the Hausa, and the Igbo are syllable-timed languages. Now, what does this mean? It means that they use the same effort, the same breath effort in every syllable, in every word. Unlike the English language, which is stress time, we don't use the same breath effort for every syllable. Okay, and what the Nigerian learners do, Nigerian learners of the English language, is they take this future, which is syllable time, and they pass it on or transfer it to the English language structure. For example, I'm going to be giving a list of numbers in the group of 5, and I'll be doing the English version and what a typical Nigerian learner of English language will say. So for example, I say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, now you can see that the amount of time I spent saying 5, 10 is lesser compared to the amount of time I spent saying 15, 20, and then 25. Okay, it's longer. 25 is longer. The duration of time pronouncing 25 is longer compared to the beginning, which is 5 and 10. But then a typical Nigerian will just go ahead and say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, so it is very flat. It is not stress time because naturally the indigenous language is not stress time. It is syllable time. They use the same breath efforts for every word and every syllable, and that is where it becomes very challenging for Nigerian learners to use stress and intonation properly. So the best thing is to put in extra effort to learn stress and intonation so that you can use it correctly. Okay, so I'll be providing videos on stress and intonation later on, which will groom you properly, but just know that stress and intonation is part of the sound system of English as well as sounds. Okay, so let's move to the next objective, which is the organs of speech. Now, what are the organs of speech? The organs of speech are part of the human body, which in addition to their roles of speech production, perform important functions in respiration or chewing. So basically what this is trying to say is the organs of speech are part of the human body that play roles in speech production, but they are not exclusively limited to speech production. They perform other functions like respiration and chewing. Okay, we'll take a look at examples of these organs of speech, but please note that they are not exclusively for production. They perform other functions, but they are part of the human body that assist in the role of speech production. Okay, so now let's take a look at these organs of speech. So we have the lungs. Okay, we have the vocal cords. The vocal cords are also called the vocal folds. Okay, we have the velum, which is also called the soft palate. We have the hard palate. We have alveolar ridge. We have teeth. We have lips, tongue, and we have uvula, and we have glottis, we have larynx, we have epiglottis, and we have nostrils. So all of these parts are involved in the speech production. We'll be taking a look at what each of these parts do, okay, but then just know that these are all of the organs of speech. Now let's talk about the lungs. Okay, now the lungs is considered to be the powerhouse of speech production. Okay, in the sense that take your hand, put it at the back of your mouth, and just say a word. Say a word like bird, man, open, close, phone. What you feel at the back of your hand is an airstream. You feel the flow of air from your mouth, and this air comes from the lungs, right? So the process of speech production starts from the lungs, which is considered as the powerhouse where air flows from, and then it flows from the lungs and it goes to the other part of the human body to produce the sound. So please note that the lungs is the starting point of speech production. It is considered as a powerhouse from which air flows from. Okay, so we'll move next to considering the other parts of the organs of speech and how they are involved in speech production, what each of these parts does, and then we'll will take a look at all of these processes, all the processes involved. So I've created a longer video that would talk about this. So all you need to do is you click on the link in the description below. It takes you to the My Skill website. There you have to subscribe. Please subscribe so you can enjoy the rest of the lesson. Okay, thank you for staying with us. Do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and lastly, tap on the bell notification to get informed as soon as we release the next videos.